Every monster has an origin story. The moment when everything changed. When the person they used to be slips away and something darker takes over. Tonight, we're going back to 1864. To the night that made Damon and Stefan Salvatore who they are today. And what we find out about them just might change how you see both of them forever.
Bum, bum, bum.
This is Blood Brothers. Welcome back to Bloodlines and Backdrops. I am your host, Amber Janae, and today with me again, welcome back, Presley.
Hi.
Presley is losing her favorite character this episode, so
I know.
She honestly didn't want to recap this episode,
but she made me, because that's how great of a boss she is.
I did make her. I said the fans want to see you sad. I said they want your emotions.
I think this is one of those episodes that sticks with me. I think it's because she dies.
It also sticks with me. This is one of my... I have such a fun fan story this episode.
Well, we can't get into that.
We can't get into it yet. But
they have to listen for 20 more minutes.
You got it, at least. But I have a really good fan story this episode. Because this is like where we're at in the series now. I'm coming around for filming a lot more.
Yeah.
So I came around, I started in episode 15. We're sharing Jessica's stories, but now a lot of my own are starting to come in as well. And that's really, really cool.
And I just want y'all to know, there's so many photos that are just randomly out there. So we're trying to piece together. We're probably gonna have to do like a montage of here's season 1 photos. Just go through them.
Here's the receipts for season 1. Here's the Covington connection for season 1. We'll put out a little bonus. We actually have a couple of people working on finding a couple of locations for us that are not accessible on any kind of tours or anything. So we're trying to figure out some things. We really want to create something fun for you guys, because we only have 2 episodes left.
I know.
I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Next week we're doing 21. Then we have 22 is going to be a round table. I can't believe this. But Presley's here. Presley hates this episode, and we should talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right. So the scene opens. We know last episode, Elena had to vervain Stefan because he was being a little bit of a meth head.
Yes.
And went over the edge, and she had to take him down. So he's downstairs withdrawing, which is basically what's happening.
Yes.
And I will say that they do, we've said this before, they do such a good job of the correlation between an addict and someone addicted to blood. It's still an addict, but it's different because that's not something that we as people are addicted to. It almost
makes you uncomfortable too.
Yes.
Like it's a very good storyline. He does great at acting it. It is definitely good. What is goofy though is when he's stuck in the basement and then they go to a flashback scene and it's literally just everybody like live action role playing.
It is. They're going back to 1864. We're getting a lot of flashbacks.
I don't see how they acted in those scenes. I really don't. That had to be the goofiest thing. They're carrying around like muskets.
Yeah. They're muskets. They have to wear like suspenders. I will say though that their 1864 hair is my favorite in all of the series. Stefan is
I like Stefan. I don't like Damon's. I
like Damon's little curly hair. I do, but Stefan is very good looking in 1864.
I like how the 2 pieces drop down. I think that's cute.
It's very cute. It's very cute. I mean, I can see them in 1864 and understand why Catherine would be like, oh, why would I
they're brothers?
Yeah, why would I choose between them? They're both incredibly attractive. So he's hallucinating. He's having flashbacks. He sees Elena at the gate, and he has a flashback of Catherine.
Yes.
Because it shows them saving her. So she had gotten captured, which we are still working on getting the mask. We've been talking about it. We really want the mask, so we've been working on that. But she gets captured. They save her.
And then Damon gets shot.
And then Stefan gets shot.
Yep.
So
everybody is dead and the show's over.
But everybody's not dead, right? Catherine gets away.
Yeah.
Catherine gets away.
Catherine gonna get hers. Don't worry about it.
So when they try to save... So actually right here, the fans say that this is crazy because this is where we learn that... We're about to learn that Stefan was also compelled. Stefan was taking her blood...
And Emily tells him, like, Damon didn't need that. Damon needed no compulsion.
Yeah, Damon by choice, which we're jumping ahead on that. But yes.
Oh, sorry.
Damon by choice. So he's having all of these flashbacks. No, we're not jumping ahead. We're here.
Okay.
We can jump into that. So he's having all these flashbacks, and it's starting to tell the story of how things went down.
Mm-hmm. And also, Emily in that scene, can I just say this? So scary. Yes. She has such a scary I don't know if it's because they did the whole, like, she was haunting Bonnie, but it reminds me of, you remember that show, The Ghost Whisperer?
Yes.
Every time the ghosts pop up, that's how I feel with Emily.
Yeah,
like,
that makes sense. That makes sense. She does seem kind of ghost-like whenever, no matter what she does. But, yeah, so she does say that. She does say that. She says... Stefan's like, no, there's no way this is happening. Yeah. And she's like, no, she's been compelling you to drink her blood for weeks. Yes. Like, this has been going on. Because Stefan was like, I never took any of the blood. And then he says something about Damon. And then she's like, oh, Damon didn't have to be compelled. Mm-hmm. Damon knew exactly what was happening. And we know right now, the fact that Stefan woke up too, Damon's stewing.
Yes.
He's stewing.
Yes.
He's stewing
also
for
been
different
awake
reasons.
A lot longer than Stefan has. Because he said he woke up last night.
Yeah.
And then Stefan, like, slept all the way to the day.
Yeah, so he woke up before. That is true. He did say he woke up last night. So he's kind of already... But Damon's also said... I mean, Catherine's gone. He said he woke up last night. He saw them take Catherine into the church.
Yes.
And then they lit it on fire.
And she's dead.
So she's dead. And there's nothing for me to live for. I don't want this life without her, basically.
You also realize they got their rings right off the bat, too.
Yes.
Like, as soon as they woke up, Emily already had the rings. Because Catherine knew... I think Catherine knew something was going to happen. And Emily says she had me make them weeks ago.
She had them... So all of that stuff. Catherine was preparing for what Emily begged her... Emily, if you remember... begged Catherine to leave before all this stuff happened. She had a conversation with her... Please, let's get out of here. They're starting to know what's happening. No, this is our little town. I want to keep playing with the Salvatore boys. I want to blah, blah, blah. And then it just ends up screwing everyone over. Yep. When all you had to do was move on. All you had to do was move on. Could have taken the Salvatore brothers with you also, by the way. Just had to get out of Mystic Falls. That was the only thing. Just had to get out of Mystic Falls.
I think they would have went, too. I think Stefan would have put up a fight, but Damon would have been like, let's go right now. Let's get out.
It's insane. Now, Stefan goes to visit his dad. And so while we're having all these flashbacks, you see that Stefan goes to visit his dad, and his dad's like, whoa, how are you alive? I shot you.
Yes. And Stefan's like, no, I'm going to let myself die. And his dad's like, I don't care. You're still a demon. Nope. You sided with them. You're no longer my son.
You shouldn't be even talking to me right now. You should be dead. It doesn't matter if you're going to let yourself die. And what's crazy about this part is... One, he doesn't even give Stefan a chance to explain that. But, like, how many people would want a second chance? You think that if you didn't shoot your son the night before, you might have some regrets and wish that you could say that you were sorry for it?
I think he's so brainwashed he doesn't care. Like, I think it's...
He doesn't
care.
But
he's also talking...
He is an extremist.
He's talking to Jonathan Gilbert, and that's when Stefan overhears him, because he's outside of the house. And then in that scene, you see the Madison house for the Salvatore. The flashback Madison house. So this is when they switched to the Madison house. So we talked before how they were at Gaither's, but the Madison house is going to be the house that they use whenever they do the flashbacks from here on out. And then they also use it on the originals down the road, which is not important right now. But it is a double location. So it gets used for 2 different spots. So Stefan goes to do that. And Giuseppe... It's hard to take. I mean, I guess with a name like Giuseppe, I would also be angry at the world. So it seems like he attacks Stefan anyways. You're a demon. I don't want anything to do with you. Yeah. And in the process, Damon accidentally stabs him. And he's like, no, let me help you. Let me help you. And then the blood. Stefan starts making out with his dad's blood on his fingers. And just like, which kind of shows you, now that we're getting into this, he's always kind of had a problem with it. Because I think a normal vampire could probably be like, all right, I'm going to bite him in the neck, get it done with. But you can see Stefan, like, relishes in it. Like, it's really like the judge.
Yes, it changes him immediately.
Even the first time he did it, you can see it.
When he brings the girl to Damon, so when all that happens and he brings the girl to Damon, he's already a different person. The Stefan before was caring, and Emily says... Yes. The biggest problem you're going to have is that you are pure of heart. And even that is going to be, that is going to be your biggest weakness, is that
and that's
he feels
the curse
too
he
much.
gets.
Yeah. He feels too much. And you see him change because the way he's acting with that girl is how he was acting when he was lying to Elena the last episode about being on the blood.
And he also tells Damon, because that's like one of his things to get Damon to do it. No, you can turn it off. You can turn it off.
You can turn it off. And it's like, where are you getting this information? Like, well, I'm assuming, and we don't know yet, that whatever, the compulsion wears off. So he should be remembering what Catherine compelled him. So maybe he does have more information about the vampires than he should. But how would you know about the humanity thing?
Unless it's like a normal,
maybe it's just a feeling.
Yeah, like maybe it's like a natural thing that you just kind of know. Yeah, maybe it's an instinct
or something.
I never thought about it though.
And I mean, but the thing is, Damon keeps his off. His is off 24/7. He just like knows how to handle it or whatever. He's kind of a
sociopath.
No, what's the word where you're like, this is the standard for something. He's like the golden child vampire. He is like the standard of what like a normal vampire could be. It's like, I can be a jerk, I can snatch, eat, erase, I can whatever, but I can still just kind of be a normal. While Stefan is on the way other end of that. But yeah, so he does that, and then he forces Damon to feed. And
so now you find out. This is like at the end of the episode when you see this, but you find out this is why Damon is so hateful towards Stefan.
This is part of the reason.
Not hateful, but has that resentment towards Stefan.
This is part of the reason. And we're going to go a little bit more into that for that. Now, we're in present day, and Damon kind of opens up to Elena a little bit, and he tells her that there are two versions to the story. So she has one version. There are two versions to the story because at this point, even though we're kind of jumping ahead, at this point, Stefan has not told Elena that he made Damon feed. Yeah. So that has been left out, and everything sounds like, oh, well, if I was transitioning, that all of those things sound normal. Damon's opening up. So he's basically like, I got to get out of here. I have things to do. You need to keep watch. This is where we're at right now. He realizes that he's having hallucinations and stuff. So Elena says, well, you must trust him if you're going to leave me here. So Elena knows that Damon's not going to put her in danger at this point.
Which I don't think Stefan really would. I think he would snap out of something before he ever hurt Elena.
No, I think that he would too.
Yeah, I don't
well,
think
we kind of saw that the last episode, right? Like when he had that breakdown, he snaps on her and then he starts crying and saying he's sorry because, again, that's what addicts do. And that's a rough scene. Yeah. That was a rough scene. But and now that he's remembering how he acted towards her too. You got to think when he was on this blood, as Damon has said, I think Damon says it. Maybe it's in this episode where he says he's in another world where he's on when he's on blood. And I mean, he's not with us.
He's high, like he's on the time of his life. He's doing.
It reminds me. It makes me wonder if it's like how it is on True Blood when the humans take vampire blood and it's like a drug for them. I'm like, I wonder if it's like that for Stefan, to where. It just turns him into a different person.
Sookie's brother goes crazy.
Yeah,
in like the first season.
A little blood addict for a little bit. So Damon goes to Alaric and basically says, "Hey, the phone number that was calling Elena has been cut off, but I've got another one, and good chance it could be Isabel. May be her, may not be her."
When Alaric calls Damon, he goes, "Hey, it's Alaric Saltzman." I'm like, why do y'all keep saying the last name?
Why do you say your last name?
Who else is named Alaric? I don't think.
Who are we doing? So he's like, do you want to go? Do you want to see, like, if this is her? And Alaric's like, well, what else do I have to lose at this point? Like, let's
and then Damon's like, all right, I'll go. You drive. And they do the little mean girl phone thing. Damon's, like, hopping in between calls with Elena and Alaric at the same time. I thought that was cute.
It is very cute. So they get to the apartment. It's not Isabel. And it is one of the tomb vampires. Yes. And apparently Uncle John.
I know. I felt so bad. What was his name?
Henry.
Henry. Yes. I felt so bad for him.
I did too.
He just seems so like, I'm out. I can live my life again.
He's like, dude. He's like, I'm going to Chuck E. Cheese. He's like, I'm about to hit up Six Flags.
I'm so grateful that John's helping me out. He's my best friend.
He's like, he taught me how to use a cell phone. Like,
he taught me how to separate my whites, which I have a question for you. Do you do that?
Do I separate my white?
Yeah.
Hell no, I don't separate my whites.
Okay, I don't either.
First of all, I don't
that
even
was
really
like,
wear any whites, first of all, as I'm wearing a white t-shirt right now.
I feel like that's an upper tax bracket thing, because
that's not a thing. And if I'm wearing anything white, it's probably not, I'm not wearing it because it's super clean.
Yeah, I every time I hear people say that, I'm like, that's fake. Nobody does that.
I don't separate anything. The only thing I separate are like towels and clothes. I don't
Unless
wash towels and sheets and clothes together.
Rich and somebody else is watching your laundry. That's the only time.
I just put everything together. Now, I will take out like red or pink because I don't want it to stain stuff, but no, white's going in. White's going in. I also think that's a myth. I don't even think that stuff does that anymore the way the washing machine does. I was going to say,
not now. Maybe like back then. Maybe in 1864.
I can't wait for someone to comment and be like, oh, God, you guys start a podcast about washing machines.
But yeah, that's all I had to say about it. I heard that and I was like, ain't nobody doing that shit.
No, nobody's doing that shit. And if you are, don't tell us. Cause
especially not a vampire that just got out of a tomb 150 years ago.
Seriously. How does he even have that many clothes? Like, how many outfits does he need for the first week? So John calls, and then Damon's like, "Let me answer it." And then Damon, they kill him. I mean,
Henry's like, "Are you gonna answer it?" And Alaric's like, "It's not happening." And then they kill Henry.
He's like, "Am I gonna answer it? Am I gonna answer it?" No, he's not gonna answer it. They kill him. So I also felt bad for Henry.
And it was so sad too when he died. He was like staring at Damon the whole time.
Yeah,
it was so sad.
Yeah, and especially because like the same thing where we were talking about how much we like Harper. It's like these vampires just got out of 150 years. Like they've been in a tomb.
It's one of those ones that they were guilty by association, but they did nothing. I mean, they were probably just living. No,
he actually seemed like a decent dude.
Yes,
like he seemed like he could live off his blood bags.
He was like
and
the
do
Stefan
his 9 to 5.
1864.
Like this poor guy. I do feel bad for him. All right, John and Pearl are at the Mystic Grill. Okay, Pearl meets John at the grill, and God, John is so mean to her. He makes some kind of comment about the Gilbert journals, and he says something about, John being brilliant, coming up with the device or whatever, and
Pearl's like smiling.
Yeah, and then he's like, he wrote in the journals that you were his biggest mistake, blah blah blah. And then she was like, then he goes, "You vampires are stupid. He hated you." Like,
and then she gives it right back to him, and she's like, "Oh yeah, dumbass. Guess what? Damon has the device. Bye."
Yeah. She was like, "Oh okay, well I was gonna play along with you, but good luck getting the device.
Don't
from
try
Damon."
me.
I agree. That was fun for her to do that.
I'm telling you, I love Pearl. Like, she's such a good character.
And the thing is Pearl is trying to play fair.
Yes.
She is trying to play fair, and I think that she is willing to work with people if people are willing to work with her. Yes. John Gilbert is not to be he's not to be trusted at all. His own family don't even like him. So why would you? Yeah, his own family doesn't even like him. So no, absolutely not.
You did skip over, and I'm not going to let you skip over this. When Jeremy and Anna are making out, that shit was so hot.
Oh my God.
And then they like set the music, and it was just like, and then I'm like, 14-year-old.
I think it's not for me because for some reason, Anna is starting to get on my nerves a little bit with how infatuated with Jeremy is, because last episode, or a couple of episodes ago or whatever it was, she was so upset about that Vicky stuff.
That is true.
And then she saw his abs and got over it real quick.
Well, I would have too.
Yeah, she just like. But I will say, I think that I hope that Anna understands that he was compelled. Yes. That they were thinking.
Well, he tells Anna. He tells her, like, in the episode you're talking about, I think he says, "Oh, well, is it as bad as you being friends with me so you can feed me to your mom?" Like, was it really that bad?
Yeah, was it?
And I think that's when
she's like, "How do you know all this?" I mean, like, girl, I've been going through my
and then she
journal.
Never brings it back up. She's like, fair point.
Like, fair point. Again, too, Anna also, like, although she starts to get a little bit on my nerves here, she's still a good person, a good vampire. She's definitely less dangerous to Jeremy than Stefan is to Elena, in my opinion. And she's much older than Stefan, so she could be a danger.
That is true.
And she has a bad history with the Gilberts.
I thought it was hot. I was like, that's not bad.
I was just happy for Anna to get her son.
And then I rewatching it, I realized why. like 14-year-old me watching that, I was probably like,
no, seriously. I was so obsessed with Jeremy. Like when the show first aired, like I was Team Stefan, but like I was so in love with Jeremy. I was just like, Steve McQueen's like the hottest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Even now, like, you want to come on the podcast?
We've actually got. I don't think it's from this episode. I don't think it's from this episode. It might be, but there's a picture at some point where he's on a phone that we have, and he's actually talking to me on the phone. I love that photo.
I love it.
It's so cute. I wasn't out there that night, but I was such a big fan of Jeremy, or of Steven, that my friends that were out there called him, and he got on the phone, and we chatted for a minute, and it was cute, but I can't remember what episode it is, but it's around this area.
As I say, if we can't find it, we'll just throw it in that little montage.
Yeah, we'll throw it in the montage. We'll throw it in the montage somewhere. But yeah, it was not hard to like look at Steve McQueen. You know what I mean? Like that was not a difficult thing to do. All right. So speaking of Anna, so after they leave the grill and all of that stuff happens, we find out John ends up taking things into his own hands.
Before we get there, because I don't really want to talk about it yet, but Pearl does tell Anna, like, we're leaving. We're going to go.
We gotta get
so
out of here.
Anna goes back to the Gilbert house to tell Jeremy bye, and he's kind of, like, sleeping.
Yeah.
And then I think
it was a really sweet moment.
It was.
He kind of wakes up, and he was, like, happy she was there, but, like, comfortable enough to go back to sleep.
Yes, yeah. And then I think she, like, kisses him, and then she goes out of the window. And then she gets home.
Yeah.
And
so she's going to tell Jeremy bye, and it might not even have been bye so much as she may have given him the choice to come with her. I mean, it doesn't. I don't know. I guess at that moment she was just like, things are getting dangerous. I got to go. And she does see how dangerous it gets when she gets back to the house. Her mom and Harper.
I know. My two favorite characters. Your two faves
out of the tomb.
But and this is like the very last scene, so I'm going to jump ahead. But when Anna finds her and she's like, no, Mama, you have to wake up.
Yeah.
It's
too much. It is too much, especially when you know that she had been searching, like everything she did was out of love too. It's just a different kind of love.
I think that's why I love Pearl so much, because I knew this was going to happen. And then watching back, like, she really, it's just that thing. She wants to be a mom to her daughter. Yes. Her daughter wants her to be a mom to her. And it's just sad. It's sad.
And they wanted to
and there was
protect
no
each
reason
other.
Pearl had to die. And that's another reason why John is a POS.
Yeah, John sucks. John sucks. He's the worst. Yeah. He's the worst. And we find out it is him that killed her. So that's why we say that. But John sucks. Now, Stefan is now... Elena goes downstairs to check on Stefan, and he's not down there. And she realizes that his ring's gone, because she had, when they were talking earlier, she had been like, stop being a baby, drink this, put your ring back on, stop doing all this stuff. Here's your ring, like all this stuff. And so she realizes that he's gone and his ring is there. So he's left his ring, he's taken it off, he's there. And I can't remember, but how does she find out he's at the quarry?
Damon tells. Because that's when Damon goes into his story.
Okay, so we had jumped ahead earlier about it. But this is when Damon says there's two sides to the story. Whatever. So while we're talking about this, before we go back to the quarry, so earlier in the episode, the quarry's actually here, right down the road, and we kind of talked about how I was going to talk about this at some point during the episode, so we'll go ahead and do it before we get to like all this.
Let's listen to
stuff.
Amber and one of her bad driving stories.
So when they were out at the quarry, like this is the first time. A lot of times these flashback scenes, things like that, that's not on location. That's not anywhere near the square for us to see those kinds of things. So the quarry is out on a busy road. It's a busy road down there. And we were stationed across the street, and we could see like through the gate and stuff that they were filming and what was going on. But at some point I was just like, hey, nobody's coming over here. We're on a busy street. Like,
it's also pretty wooded right there.
It's very wooded. I'm like, it's like, let's just get out of here. Like, this is just silly. And Jessica told me to go on. She was going to hang out. She had nothing else to do. So I was like, all right. So me and my best friend go and get her car. We had parked down the street. And as I'm driving back, here comes Ian running across the street, to the point that I had to slam on my brakes. And this is 1864 Ian too. So it's not just like, so this is 1864 Damon. I had to slam on my brakes, and he goes to the hood of my car. Like, that's how close it is. And all I'm thinking is, all right, I got to go into witness protection. Like, I almost killed Ian Somerhalder. Like, this is not good.
Can you imagine?
It was so terrible. Like, break a leg, didn't mean literally. So at that point, I wish that I had just pulled, because he laughed. He did. Yeah. He laughed. He knew who I was.
Deep
like,
down,
we'd already
he was
seen
like,
each other a few
bitch.
times. He'd seen me out there watching filming. I didn't have a picture with Ian yet. So this technically should have been my first photo. So I didn't have a picture with him yet. But that happens. It was so funny. And everybody was just like, my friend was mortified. I was mortified. Jessica was laughing. I could see her laughing on the side of the road. Jessica did get a picture with Ian. So we're going to throw that up. Yeah. But she got that picture with Ian, and she got it because I didn't kill him that day. So, but the way she tells the story is his security was like, do not cross the street. And Ian was basically like, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And he went across the street anyways. And he did that a lot. So he did put himself in danger.
He was very like, no, you can't do that. Oh, yeah, watch me.
Like, I'm
watch me walk across.
So I was the reason his security was like, hey, don't cross the street.
What did you get so embarrassed you just left?
I just left. I just kept driving. I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's what I'm saying. I should have stopped and owned up to it. Been like, oh my God, wasn't that so funny? Now let's get a pic. But I didn't do that. I just drove off. And then when I finally get a picture with him next episode, so episode 21 is when I finally get a picture with him, he definitely picked on me about it. Yeah. So we thought it was funny. We thought it was funny. And yeah. So anyways, so when I show you the pictures with Jessica, I will never get over the fact that in the whole 8 years, I don't have a flashback photo.
You would not be a tour guide. That's for imagine opening up a tour and be like, "Hi everybody, my name's Amber, and guess what? I killed Ian Somerhalder."
Yeah, there wouldn't be. They'd be like, "You remember how they killed him off on Lost season 1, Vampire Diaries season 1 too?"
I got charged for manslaughter.
Well, do you like this story about Stefan? No. So that happened. Now back to the quarry. So they filmed during the day and at night over the course of a few days because they had a lot of scenes to do there. So the nighttime scene, now I'm not 100% sure about this and I need to look into it, but I think, and I might be wrong, I think the waterfall at the quarry is CGI.
Yeah, so I noticed that, and I was sitting there thinking, I was like, either they had a a fire truck out there with a hose and made, because there's not a waterfall.
There's not a waterfall.
But that is the quarry that they filmed at. So I wonder if it was just kind of added in, because they don't really look too real either.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't look too real to me. I also feel like the added sound with it, they made it kind of loud. Yes. So I don't remember it being there. I also wasn't out there for the nighttime stuff. Jessica was out there for the nighttime stuff.
She was at home sitting in a corner thinking about what she did.
Absolutely not. So Elena confronts Stefan.
Before that, though, and this is kind of something I noticed, and I had like my own little theory about. Emily starts popping up, right? She's doing her like creepy ghost stuff, and she's popping up. I know it was a flashback, but it almost felt like because he was vulnerable, maybe something was trying to push him to burn up, like kill yourself, do something. It felt like they were almost taunting him, making him want to do it more. But it might have also been just Stefan's mind.
No, it could have been a mix of both. It could have been,
but it definitely felt like the universe was trying to like, oh, you're in a vulnerable spot, do it, trying to like rid itself of vampires.
And I also think that his guilt was so overwhelming.
Yeah,
I think that he couldn't believe how he treated Elena. I think was a lot of it, and he couldn't believe that she still wanted to be with him.
Yeah.
So also
but
really
here
crazy.
Comes Elena.
Yeah, really crazy. Considering what happens in the next episode, thank God he didn't kill himself. Because considering what happens in the next episode, we might have had Delana a little bit sooner. But anyways, we'll jump to that later because we're not talking about that yet.
Well, thank God you didn't kill Ian. So it happened.
Right, exactly. Okay, so Elena, she goes to talk to Stefan. And I don't want to go over what she says to him and stuff because it's actually one of my favorite quotes. But she basically says to him that she feels like she's the reason that her parents died and that you make choices and you have to live with the consequences of your choices. And that she was supposed to have family night that night and she decided to go to the party. And then that's why they had to come pick her up in the middle of the night and all this stuff. So it's like we all carry around guilt. We all carry around things that make us feel bad. And we have to decide how we're going to do that. And she's basically just like, I love you. And
tells him like, if you do this right now, it's all for nothing.
Yeah.
The good side of you was the one that came and got us out of the car the night that family ran off the bridge. The good side of you was the one
that saved me that night and all of that stuff. And just as a reminder, and she turns around and he very quickly is like, Elena. Yeah. So he's in. He's in. He puts that ring back on.
Yeah.
And he is in. Now, Damon says to Stefan that he does hate him for making him turn, but that's not really like deep down. What he hates him for is that Catherine turned him too.
Yes, it was only supposed to be him.
It was only supposed to be Damon. So he hated Stefan for that, which isn't Stefan's fault because that part, I'm like, Damon, you kind of got to get over it because Stefan was being compelled. Damon was not. So Stefan's feelings for her weren't necessarily real.
Yeah.
In the sense of him being compelled and all that stuff, but Damon's were. And I think that it hurts Damon that she loved him more even though he loved her more.
And I mean, it's a real love triangle. Like, you have Catherine. Catherine's chasing after Stefan. Stefan doesn't really want Catherine, but then you have Damon on the other side trying to get
But Stefan does want Catherine when she compels him.
Yes. But, like, in his natural state, does he think Catherine's beautiful? Yes. Does he want to, like, really be with Catherine? I don't feel like it.
Yeah, I don't feel like it either. I agree. I don't feel like it either.
Which, no. I feel like Damon's the one that's like, I will do anything. I'm in love with you. I think Stefan's like, yeah, she's cool to hook up with. I mean, she's pretty fine.
Yeah, but... and I think that Damon's starting to realize, not necessarily... It's a lot. It's like, what's infatuation, what's love, what's whatever. Like, it's all a lot of different things going on there. He basically says that, and I felt like I feel like I agree, because there were some fans that talked about this, where they talked about this confession kind of reframed everything for them, like, as far as Damon goes, because you start to see that all the chaos and all of that stuff traces back to that moment where he wasn't the chosen one. Where he was not the number one pick, and he was not the drafted. He was not the number one draft. He cannot stand it,
and he has held that grudge for what, 140 years?
Yeah, 146 years or 100 whatever. Blah blah blah. I think there was it this episode where Alaric says something?
Yeah, I think he says 146 years or 145, because Alaric says after they realize that Henry was a dead end to Isabel.
Yeah.
He's like,
why am I doing this? Why am I chasing her?
Like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then he's like, I've spent the last 2... What is it? Hold on. I wrote it down. Hold on.
Damon says... He says 140-something years to him. And then Damon says, oh, would you waste a couple of years?
Yeah, that's moderately healthy. Yeah. And then Alaric goes, oh, yeah, sorry, it's not 154.
Yeah, something like that. But you actually pointed out when we were talking about this off camera.
So when Alaric tells him, I've wasted 2 years of my life, and then Damon goes, oh, 2 years is nothing. When we had the episode where we introduced, like, the missing persons report, it made it like it was 8 or 7 years ago.
8 or 7 years ago.
So I didn't know if that was just like a little plot hole that they just didn't keep up with, or if it was supposed to be longer. It was just funnier if Damon said that.
Yeah, and it also may just be Damon being like, oh, what, a couple years compared to my 140? But I do agree with you. I remember specifically, I think it is 8 years, that because we brought up the year, the fact that the license was expired, a couple of other things. So,
and that like, it had enough time for Alaric to, like, figure out what's going on, move to Mystic Falls.
Yes, get a job, learn all about the vampires, because, I mean, everything that Alaric didn't know, he had to learn. Yeah, I agree with you. That's kind of crazy. That's fun. So speaking of Isabel, that's how it ends. She walks into the bar and says hello to Alaric, and Alaric's basically like,
and an amazing character dies and a horrible character comes in. We have two now.
We have two. We
thank God Matt Donovan wasn't here.
Yes.
Matt Donovan was here, it'd be 3.
This is true. We're missing Kelly. If we can get Kelly Donovan. And God, the moms on this show are something else.
I know.
They are something else. We talked in 19 about how Liz was so busy with everything else, she didn't even see Caroline become Miss Mystic Falls. So it's like even the parents that are like kind of normal still aren't paying attention to their kids. They're still all wrapped up in vampire crap. So anyways, that's Blood Brothers. All right, so what we're about to do is we're going to actually drive by the location where we were standing when we were waiting for them across the street. You're going to get a chance to see the quarry. We're going to drive by, but this was all blocked off, wooded. You couldn't see anything at the time that they were filming. The quarry's on this side. We were standing, pretty sure we were about right here where this kind of open area is right here. And when I realized how busy everything was, I was like, I don't think that this is going to work, that nobody's going to come out. Nobody's going to come out and risk their lives and cross the street or whatever. But as you guys know, as I told you, that's not the case with Ian Somerhalder. He will do whatever he wants when he wants. I'm going to do a loop around to give you guys a good view of the quarry and also to show you about where we were when I almost hit Ian with my car. I was in an Audi, which was fun because he also owned an Audi at the time. So this is actually pretty fascinating that you can see the quarry. Usually it's blocked off. All right. So like I said, I went and got my car. And I was like, oh, I'm going to leave. And then what happens? Oh, my God, there's Ian Somerhalder. Ah! And then I almost hit him with my car. And then now you can see the quarry. And it's gorgeous. Like, I cannot believe this is all open right now. This is amazing. And that's the story of me almost hitting Ian. Sorry. Hi, everyone. This is the cellar door that Elena was behind in the Salvatore house when Stefan was like trying to not drink. He was having all the flashbacks and all of that stuff. So we have it here at the Covington Visitor Center. You can see the front of it. You cannot see the back of it. The back of it is for only us to go. But I love that they turned this door into the hallway door. I just think this is like a super fun thing. So. All right, so we're going to get into our MVP of the episode, and to no one's surprise, mine's Stefan this episode. And I think that mine is Stefan this episode is because we finally get to understand the guilt and the grief and all the things that he's been carrying. We understand the two sides to him. You understand that when he is on blood, that he's the way that he is because he feels so deeply. He just feels so deep. He's an empath. I mean, he's absolutely an empath. And I just felt like also it helped that Paul Wesley did such a good job.
He does.
Even these, I would say from 19 to 21, he does such a good job going from being bloodthirsty Stefan to regular Stefan to the flashback Stefan, who's a different version of him. He also
kind of like changes his voice too, like his tone.
He changes his tone. He changes his attitude, his vibe.
Very good at it.
He does a very good job. But I do think that Stefan going through what he went through this episode for us to learn about that is why he. To learn about the history of all of it and to understand it, and that's why he's my MVP.
I feel like that's just a Stefan fan take, but
well, listen, I've been giving it to Damon a lot lately, so
my MVP, Pearl, easy Pearl,
easy Pearl.
I mean,
this is the last time she could be one. So.
Yeah, I love her. I think she's beautiful. Definitely a top tier character. And then not only her little thing with Uncle John where she's like, well, guess what? I'm messing you over too. Yeah. Like, whatever. And then her dying. So definitely Pearl and Harper. Justice for Harper. That boy did nothing.
No, I think Harper would have been a great character too. I do too. Like, Harper and Caroline would have been a cute couple.
We need to get Harper on the show.
Yeah, we should. Let's look that up. Let's try to look that up because I was talking about in the last episode. I was gonna look up that I started following the actress who played Amber Bradley. Yes. So we should look that up too. I believe he did come to a con or two, but I might be wrong.
I was gonna say, I think Jessica has a photo with him. I think that photo you sent me was.
I feel like she does. I now have access to her photo bucket, so y'all are about to really start seeing some good stuff. She sent me a picture of me and Matt Davis the other day. I didn't even know I had. So, yeah.
But I do have two quotes.
Okay.
I had two. My first one's Alaric, and he says, "I just don't want to waste any more years of my life searching for answers. I just don't want to know." I mean, I just thought that was cute. I was like, yeah, that's good. And then there's one for Damon, which I will give Damon. This was a very good
killing
moment.
It with the quotes.
Yeah, he's really is. Good job, writers. But Catherine is dead, Stefan, and there is no world without her. I really like that.
Yeah.
Because I want somebody to do, which I think Xander would do that for me, but I love that type of like, if she's not here, I have nothing.
Oh, like, yeah, you want like, I think that.
Like, I want you to be
I think that for people who watch the show, that's why they watch the show.
Yes,
you want this crazy, obsessed.
I want you to.
We're all Pisces. Everyone who watches the show is a Pisces. That's what's happening. Pisces are obsessed with love. I don't know if you know this, but
I'm a Cancer, so you're wrong.
Oh my God, Cancer's the worst sign. Thanks. No wonder I don't like you.
But yeah, I love that. Like, be obsessed with me. You know, your whole world revolves around me, which I mean, luckily I found. But
and you see that with Damon. You see that like that is the case with him, man. I mean,
when he's not crazy about it, it's cute. When he's crazy about it, then it's like, dude, I need a restraining order.
Because at some point you're like, why are you still chasing? Like, I think it's different when you're chasing someone who doesn't want to be chased, and she does not want to be chased. No. So for Alaric to realize that, and Alaric's another one that is such. He just comes off such a sweet guy. Was so in love love with his wife.
Which I get it. Look, I made Xander chase after me for 2 years straight before I was like, yeah, I love you. We can get married and have kids. It's fine.
Gosh, that's so cute. Look at that. Look at that. Larry didn't chase me, but I would say.
Oh, so you were easy. You're like, no, come here.
I don't remember Larry chasing me, but I think that he would.
Xander kept texting me and he'd be like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. And I'd be like, thank you. Just went on for 2 years straight.
Well, no, it didn't go on for 2 years straight, but when we stopped dating the first time, he put it on pretty thick to get me back. So
Xander did that too. Xander even had a whole girlfriend when we got together.
Sorry.
It's okay, we're married now.
Yeah, we're married now. This happens. She's so young, it's fine. Blood Brothers gave us everything. The flashbacks, heartache, the truth about who pulled the trigger, which was wild, and who made the choice that changed everything. Just when you think you understand these brothers, this show's going to add another layer. Stefan made it through the detox. Damon did something kind and refused to admit it. And the episode closed with a very familiar voice walking into the Mystic Grove. That's right. Episode 21, Isabel. All right. Elena's birth mother is in town, and she did not come to hug it out at all. She is here to cause chaos. She came with an agenda, and we're going to learn about that next week. So make sure you guys tune in next week. We only have 2 episodes left. This is absolutely crazy. I can't believe we've made it through a whole season. We've almost made it through a whole season, and season 1's almost done, but we still have some interviews lined up. We have another bonus live episode coming in a couple of weeks. So we really have some really fun stuff coming up. Now that Presley's like pretty much on full time as co-host, we're really working together to get the content out and do that. Yeah. So I'm really excited. So if you guys are enjoying the show, please share your friends, tell your friends, use hashtag Bloodlines and Backdrops to tell us what you think. Until then, stay safe, stay vampy, and remember, in Mystic Falls, nothing is ever as it seems.